Welcome back to my channel. I'm Tom Selleck with Smokin Joe's Pit Barbecue. I'm joking, it's me, Smokin Joe, but I am sporting the Tom Selleck mustache. On today's video, I'm going to be cooking up some Mesquite smoked burgers. Stay tuned. All right, let's get started on these Mesquite smoked burgers. I am starting with a USDA prime brisket from 1855 Meat. If you guys have not checked them out at the link below and get yourself some of this amazing beef. This is exactly what I use on my food truck. And I gotta tell you, these 1855 briskets are pretty darn savage. Now this is a 19-pound brisket. We're not gonna use it all, but I'm going to show you what I am going to be using to make these burgers. Alright, so I'm only going to be making 8 half-pound burgers, so I need 4 pounds of this 19-pound brisket. Now, there's a lot of fat on this brisket, okay? You have the decal fat and you have the fat cap on. I'm not going to be using a ton of that, but I do want about an 80-20 mixture for burgers. So I'm just going to start taking off some of this fat. Now, the majority of this brisket that I'm going to use for the burgers is going to come from the point over here. I'm going to save some of this flat and make some carne guisada. If you guys have never tried that before, it is so darn good. I was introduced to carne guisada when I went down to South Texas with my buddy Eric, and I cannot have enough of it. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the point meat from the flat right here. And if you follow this fat seam, you will separate the flat from the point. Pretty simple. Just follow the fat seam on both sides. This is not a competition trim, so it doesn't have to be perfect. But once you get into this fat seam, try to stay right in the middle if you can. Again, we're going to be grinding up most of this. See that? Just lift this flat right here and go straight. Real simple. And our flat is removed from the brisket. Real simple process. So now what I have left here is the majority of the point meat, okay? Now a brisket, untrimmed brisket, is about 40% fat, okay? So we definitely don't want a 60-40 burger. So I'm gonna be removing a ton of this fat. And if you guys didn't know that a brisket was about 40% fat, and as a surprise, well, it is what it is. And that's why we trim our briskets the way we do, because these briskets just have a ton of fat. There we go. We're starting to see that beautiful marbled meat. And that's about as much fat that I want to take off. See that? Beautiful. Just remove some of these heavier fat pockets. We're going to take some off of the fat cap as well. All right, that looks good right there. Let me weigh this out. Remember, we're looking for 4 pounds. And look at that, we have about 4.6 pounds, which is perfect. Let me just take off a little bit more fat here. So we have about 4.5 pounds. And that's exactly what I want right there. So I'm just going to cube this up because we're going to grind this still. All right, I'm going to set this aside and set up my grinder. And I'll bring you guys right back. All right, so I've got my grinder set up to go ahead and grind up this brisket, but I do have a quick pro tip for you guys. If you guys are grinding your own meat to make burger or sausage, and you're getting those black pieces of meat that are coming out of the grinder, definitely take them out. But the reason that's happening is because your blade and your plate right here, this is your blade and this is your plate, they're getting too hot, okay? This is one of the things that I see pretty frequently when people are making sausage, okay? You put on this lock nut right here. There we go. Now when they tighten this down, they get it and they really put some muscle behind it, really tighten it. That's a no-no, okay? What you want to do is when you tighten it, put it very loose, okay? Not extremely loose, but just like that. That's good enough. You don't want to over-tighten it. Now, you can also use some food-grade oil to oil up the blade and the plate, and that will prevent that. The other reason that happens is because people are sitting here with the grinder on with no meat inside the hopper. That is a no-no as well. So make sure you get yourself a foot pedal like I'm using today. That way you can control when your grinder is on and when it is off. Right now it's off. I don't like to start my grinder empty. So let's put some meat in the hopper here. All right, so I've got my foot pedal connected. So I control when the grinder is on and when it is off. I simply step on it like that and it turns the grinder on and it turns it back off the minute I release my foot. If you guys are not using a foot pedal for your meat grinder, check out the link below from meatyourmaker.com and get yourself either the grinder and the foot pedal. All right, here we go. All right, so I've got the meat all ground up and I did throw it in my freezer for about 15-20 minutes just to chill it out a little bit. Now I'm just gonna make these half-pound balls, if you will. Now I don't know how much meat I said earlier. I think I ground too much. I think I may have said 6 pounds, but I only needed 4 pounds of brisket. So I'm gonna make 8 half-pound patties. All right, pretty simple so far. Just roll it into a ball. I do have a scale right here to ensure that all of these are going to be half a pound apiece. All right, so now that we've got our half-pound balls, I'm just going to simply shape these into burger patties. You don't have to handle these too much, okay? Just press them down. Nice thick burger patty. If you have a burger press, that would work, but if you got hands, that works too. Just like that. I'm going to set these aside. All right, so I've got the burgers pressed out. Now let's season these bad boys. I'm going to be seasoning these burgers with some brand new burger seasonings from PS Seasoning. This is their backyard seasoning that has pepper, salt, and butter. This is natural butter. And add enough seasoning. Look at that. Press that in there. All right, so these two patties right here, I'm gonna season it with this seasoning called The Works, also from PS Seasoning. This has ketchup, mustard, and pickles. All right, so for these two patties, I'm gonna be using this seasoning right here called Umami Butter. This has butter, mushroom, and onion. So as I mentioned earlier, all of these seasonings are 100% natural, okay? There's no artificial flavors on these bad boys. This one right here smells so good. All right, last but not least, these two patties right here, I'm gonna season with this bacon blue. Now this one has bacon, blue cheese, and garlic. Look at that. Add enough of that seasoning, okay? Do not be shy. I think I was a Cajun on my past life. Press that in. Now one thing you can do also is mix the seasoning into the meat. That's a little extra work. I like things easy, so I'm just gonna season the outside of the burger patty like the rest of the world does. All right, I'm gonna let these rest inside my fridge for a bit. Meanwhile, I'm gonna go fire up my pit. Stay tuned. All right, so I've got my mesquite splits all stacked up inside my bison smoker. I'm gonna be lighting these splits with my grill gun from Grill Blazer. I've said this before and I'll say it again. If you do not have one of these bad boys, get yourself one and quit wasting money on charcoal to keep your pit lit. Here we go. All right, our splits are lit. I'm gonna give this about 20 minutes and I'll bring you guys right back. All right, so it's been about 20 minutes since I lit my pit. And since we are using mesquite, again, you wanna let that burn down a little bit. That way you don't have any dark black smoke, anything like that. We have a nice clear smoke right now and we are running at 275 degrees. Look at that, just a very light smoke, if you can see that. So I was gonna keep track of these burgers as far as the seasonings, but I think it'd be a lot more fun just to play burger roulette, if you will. So I'm just gonna mix these up, not even worry about which burgers are seasoned with what. All right, so there we have our 8 half-pound burgers. These are probably gonna smoke for 45 minutes, maybe even an hour. I'm looking for about 145 degrees internal. I'll bring you guys back in a minute. Stay tuned. All right, so it's been about 40 minutes now, and the burgers just hit 140 degrees internal. So now I'm gonna add some cheese. All right, so I'm gonna add Colby cheese to about half of these. And I don't remember what was seasoned with what. So as I mentioned earlier, we're gonna play burger roulette here. I also have some cheddar cheese for the other 4. All right, I'm gonna let that cheese melt for probably a minute or so, and I'll see you guys inside. Stay tuned. All right, so the burgers are ready. I'm simply gonna dress these buns here. These have been toasted with a little bit of butter. I'm gonna add mayo to the bottom half. And yes, I am using Duke's mayo. And the top bun is getting some mustard. That's it. No vegetables, nothing to ruin this burger. If you guys are into vegetables, go ahead and add some lettuce, some tomatoes, some onion if you want. But we're gonna keep this simple. So here's patty number 1. Now I went by the appearance of all the patties, so I think I got 1 of each. There's 2, 3, and 4. Top these off. And there you have it. Does that look good or what? Let's give these bad boys a try. All right, there's nothing left but to give these burgers a try and see how we did. Here's our first burger. Look at that monster burger. I'm gonna try to guess these seasonings. Here we go. I'm thinking this is the works, okay? But I'm gonna come back to it. But look at that, perfectly cooked. Oh yeah. Here's our second burger right here. Very familiar taste. No mistake that this is the backyard. Salt, pepper, and butter for sure. That is amazing. Third burger right here. Here we go. I'm gonna change my mind. This one is a ketchup, mustard, and pickles for sure. Here's our last burger. Got to figure out these last 2 seasonings, but so far all of them have been good. Here we go. This is the bacon blue. You can definitely taste that blue cheese flavor. That is amazing. So that means that the first one I tried was the umami butter, which is butter, mushroom, and onion. Now, they're all amazing, but which one do I like the best? It has got to be the bacon blue. I am a cheese freak, and this bacon blue burger right here, again, they're all amazing, but this one right here stands out to me. You know, I gotta say, great job to Pia Seasoning for coming out with these amazing burger seasonings. It kind of gets you out of your comfort zone to trying something new. And I would have never guessed to make a bacon blue burger seasoning. This stuff right here is amazing. Again, all of them are absolutely delicious. But if I had to rank them, the bacon blue would be my first. The backyard, salt, pepper, and butter would be my second. Now the third one really surprises me because it has pickles, and I am not a fan of pickles, but I'm gonna rank this one number 3. This is the Works, really good seasoning as well. And coming in at number 4, again, absolutely delicious, but I really thought I would pick this one first because of the ingredients, butter, mushroom, and onion. This one, umami butter, is absolutely delicious, but if I had to rank them, that's exactly how I would rank these seasonings. Now, all of the burgers have a really good mesquite flavor, which is really popular out here in West Texas. And I gotta tell you, if you have not tried a mesquite smoked burger, you are missing out. I hope you guys enjoyed this smoked burger video. Make sure you check out Pia Seasonings and order all 4 of these amazing seasonings. If this is your first time to my channel, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Until next time, Joe with Smokin Joe's Pit BBQ. See ya.